It all starts with a big mistake. A military experiment with an electromagnetic pulse goes wrong, wiping out a city in seconds. But days later, rescue teams find something impossible. Some of the dead are still moving. Government reports say it's not a virus outbreak. The pulse restarted their brain activity. They remain sluggish, and unlike typical outbreaks, nothing spreads through wounds or contact. Yet, nobody realized this was only the start of a much bigger nightmare. To control the situation, authorities quietly brought in civilians with high-paying contracts while keeping the reality secret. Ava is one of them. Ava joins the mission for one reason only. Her husband Mitch disappeared inside the restricted zone during the disaster. She didn't know if he was alive. Ava saw only one path: enter the blocked zone and search for him. Sadly, the hotel where Mitch stayed sat close to the most hazardous spot. The government plan was to clear the outer areas slowly first. Ava felt anxious, but followed orders because she had no choice. Ava is placed in one of the most disturbing roles, clearing bodies from the infected zone. She wore a mask and collected bodies carefully. Officials said they were harmless, but if they moved, the soldiers would shoot them on the spot without asking questions. Ava started to question the government's mixed messages, but her teammate Clay paid no attention to any of it. To him, the job was simply a way to make good cash, and if he could, he'd steal valuables too. Soon, the pair faced their first real encounter with one of the undead. A lone figure remained frozen in place near the edge of the room. They thought he might still be alive. His eyes kept blinking. Clay triggered the alert, and within moments, soldiers stormed in and killed the figure on sight. Ava felt heavy inside. If things continued this way, even if her husband was somehow alive, the government would kill him immediately. To truly help someone now, there was just one option. She had to locate him before the main groups did. Ava changed her plan. She would slip away alone at night, but the truth was that a curfew already covered the living areas to prevent any trouble. No one was allowed out after dark. Her plan ended before it even started. With no other choice, Ava went to a bar. There, her partner Clay had been drinking for some time. Over their 7 days on duty, he had already shown interest in her. Clay tried to comfort Ava when he saw her sad expression. He told her not to worry so much, but hearing those words, Ava could not hold back. She shared all her deep concerns with him. Clay's carefree tone made Ava regret trusting him. Then, an idea came to her for getting his help. Feelings wouldn't work here, but a large payment might persuade him. The moment he heard the promise of big rewards, Clay agreed instantly. Soon, they reached a deserted garage. They found a fully intact dummy there, but when they turned, they got a big shock. Real bodies were scattered across the floor. Clay sat down and began mapping out routes. No one noticed that one woman had quietly opened her eyes. Later, while Clay prepared to search for fuel, Ava spotted a woman-like undead figure standing a short distance away. This time, she walked toward it bravely. The woman's jaw moved without control. She kept making grinding teeth sounds, and she looked at herself in the mirror, over and over, as if unhappy with her revived appearance. Then Clay noticed her and panicked. As soon as Ava heard his call, she left with him at once, instead of checking further. They opened the gate and stepped into an empty road. They avoided army watches and entered the quarantine area that had not been cleared yet. Only after getting far away did they finally relax and move faster. Suddenly, Clay hit the brakes hard. At the road's end sat several army vehicles. It looked like another cleanup team working in a different spot. They read the situation and hid right away. But right then, Ava's eyes caught something. A zombie stared quietly at them. This time, it did not stay far off. It began walking slowly toward them. Luckily, a soldier walked past nearby at that moment. The soldier saw the figure and shot it immediately. After coming so close to danger, the two got away and continued forward. Yet, as they neared the central zone, the bad air grew even thicker. They had to grab masks from an ambulance. Only then did they understand that these revived people were not as harmless as the government claimed. They were becoming more aggressive. The undead kept hitting mirrors as they tried to reach them. Frightened, the pair now refused to stop anywhere. They kept going until the bike ran out of fuel. In the end, they stopped at a gas station because they had no choice. A quick check showed the spot was not very safe, but it had a working tap for filling water. They decided to rest there briefly and look after themselves. Clay's shoulder ached from the long bike ride. Ava rubbed it to ease the pain, but then an uninvited visitor approached from behind. The good part was that the zombie moved very slowly. They saw it before it got too close. Yet this one seemed fiercer than any they had met so far. Just as they prepared to fight for their lives, a soldier appeared suddenly and killed it. Even so, their problems did not end. When the soldier learned they had entered without permission, he let Ava stay there for now. Now separated from Clay, Ava's journey took a darker turn. The soldier named Riley took Clay and headed back to a nearby base. With no other options, she went along with the soldier. But even after night fell, Riley did not take her to any base. After some time, he stopped the car near a farmhouse. This location did not look like a military base. Riley said it was only a temporary stop. The rest of the team had already left for a risky operation, but Ava noticed a photo inside the house. It showed Riley standing beside a woman. When he saw her looking, he turned and openly admitted the truth. He said the woman was his wife, and this place had once been their home. At the time of the disaster, his wife had been 9 months pregnant and ready to give birth, but she died in the accident. Riley said he understood Ava's pain, and it happened that the dangerous mission the others had gone on led to a spot not far from her husband Mitch's hotel. He told Ava he could take her there, but she would need to help him in return. The truth was, he still loved his wife deeply. That's when Riley revealed what he really wanted: Ava to wear his wife's clothes, put on her wedding ring, and dance with him one last time. But Ava refused. Riley got restless and angry. He pulled out one earbud and started slow dancing with her. But now, Riley's behavior started to shift. He demanded that Ava must wear the ring and dance again. His face turned cold as she kept refusing. Now Ava sensed something was off. As Riley moved closer, Ava grabbed a flower vase and struck him with it. She quickly ran to another room and locked the door. From outside came repeated knocking on the door. A scared Ava searched for another exit. That's when she noticed it: a swollen, dead body resting on the bed. Standing in the hallway, Riley told her he was not a monster. He explained that, according to his studies, some people return because they still have unfinished tasks in life. His wife was in the same situation. He believed his wife would wake up again one day. Hearing this, Ava realized that deep grief had fully broken Riley. He still spoke to his wife as if she were still with him. When the chance came, Ava jumped out of the window. She quietly made her way to the front door to grab the car keys and escape. But the next second, Riley, who was coming down the stairs, met her face to face. In panic, she ran toward a nearby storage building. Riley entered with a flashlight, and at the same moment, Ava caught a quick look. There, many undead were chained up. That's when she understood why Riley knew so much about the creatures. He had been capturing them for a while and studying them. Ava saw there was no simple way out for her now. She chose to make one last attempt. Ava acted like she was crying. She said sorry and told him she had only been very afraid. This time, she was willing to wear the ring and continue the earlier dance. Hearing her words brought tears to Riley's eyes. He stepped forward and held Ava in a tight hug. While this happened, Ava quietly took out the sharp tool she had hidden at her side. In the end, she used Riley's mental struggle against him and ended his life. After that, Ava quickly located the keys and got ready to go. But as soon as she switched on the light, she saw Riley's wife looking at her from a short distance. She had truly come back to life. The only change was that Riley had died just before sunrise. As she got nearer to her target, a strange worry grew in her heart. Then she remembered that she and her husband had been stuck together because of an unkept promise. Before the disaster, their marriage had nearly fallen apart. Her husband had left for work and planned to return to have an honest talk about their relationship. Meanwhile, the path forward was fully blocked. Ava left the car with no other choice and began walking while holding an axe. But being by herself, she did not notice the danger quietly following behind her. A zombie slowly appeared behind her. Then she heard steps on broken glass. The zombie attacked her. A terrified Ava ran and climbed into an overturned bus, but the zombie kept following and entered after her. Looking at the setting sun, she understood she could not continue now. She quickly found a van on the roadside before dark and chose to spend the night inside it. With effort, she removed the dead body from the van and cleaned the space before night fully came. Only 6 kilometers remained to her goal, but the nearer she got, the more fear she felt. She feared Mitch might already be dead, or worse. Tired from everything, Ava finally fell asleep. But in the middle of the night, a loud sound woke her. Ava understood that perhaps another body had come back. She stepped out of the van with care. She thought that if it looked dangerous, she should kill it first. But what she saw was totally different from her fears. That undead person was calmly digging a grave for his family, like any normal human. Even after seeing her, he did not react badly. That's when Ava recalled what Riley had said. She understood that this zombie was simply finishing his life's incomplete task. As soon as that thought came, she helped complete the zombie's wish. And then, she finally set free the soul trapped in that body. After some time, a restless and tired Ava finally reached her husband. He lay on the ground, completely still. Ava, who had prepared her mind for anything, told herself she would accept whatever the truth turned out to be. But then she noticed that her husband was not wearing his wedding ring. Sensing something, Ava quietly searched around. Soon, she found a woman's work ID on the table. After that, she discovered another body of the same woman in the bathroom. The truth became clear. Her husband had not come for work, but for a secret relationship. Then, a voice came from outside the door. Clay had arrived there. Clay had not run away. He had come back looking for her. It was clear he was not as cold as he seemed. Clay became a bright spot for Ava in that darkness. And this is where Ava finally chose to let go of the past. She burned her husband's body and sent him off properly. When the two were heading back, they met Riley's wife again. But then Ava noticed that her pregnant belly was now even larger, and there were dry blood marks on her clothes. Understanding what this meant, she heard a baby crying close by. They followed the sound and reached the spot to see. That woman had given birth to a child. This film stands apart from usual zombie movies. It shows that often, the attachments of living people are scarier than the return of the dead. Riley lost his mind because he could not accept his wife's death. Ava also risked her life because of her attachment to her husband. Even her husband's unfaithfulness played a part in his end, and the birth of a child becomes the strongest symbol of this idea. In the middle of death and ruin, a mother not only returned because of her final wish, but also brought new life. She became a link between death and life. It shows that even in the hardest times, hope never fully disappears. But what if the real horror isn't the dead, but what the living refuse to let go? Maybe life is more complicated than we think. Sometimes, the hardest thing to bury isn't the body, it's the memories.